Hey, welcome back to Opinions on Everything. I'm Forbes. I'm here again with Courtney, Keith, and Anna, and we're going to discuss some things and have opinions that may or may not be correct at all. But that's the usual. How are y'all doing today?
Great.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, awesome. I'm thrilled. So the first thing we're going to do is an old psychology kind of a quiz / game where I'm going to ask Keith and Anna. Courtney's already done this, and so because I know what's coming, I'm also going to be out. But I'm going to ask Keith and Anna a few questions, and they're going to tell me the answers, and then we're going to tell them what that means. So first, Keith and Anna.
Okay.
Yes.
What? How best to describe this? Your favorite animal. What 3 adjectives would you use to describe that favorite animal? Like, tell me what the animal is and what 3 words / qualities / adjectives go with it. That make sense?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Wish I could spell anything.
And while they work, me and Courtney are going to discuss politics and economics.
Okay.
Don't tread on me now.
You just tell me when y'all are ready.
Ready.
We can move on.
Wait, I'm not ready.
Sorry for the downtime. I should get better at filling time in a podcast that's all audio. Probably should have had them do this before.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is,
I'm ready.
we got them now. Okay. Next, your favorite article of clothing. So it could be a jacket, a t-shirt, shorts, that kind of thing. And then what 3 reasons for why? Keep the reasons short, just kind of like, again, adjectives describing it. What makes you like them. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, Courtney's answers are really funny, so we'll be sharing hers at the end. Mm-hmm. I get a good kick out of them. Of course, we probably won't tell why we get a good kick out of them, but that's okay. They're funny regardless.
Yeah, you probably will. When did we do this, Forbes? In the airport?
Yeah, in the airport on the way to Scotland, I believe.
That was fun.
We were wasting some time.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all good? Nope, not yet.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm not crazy about my answers, but they'll do.
Okay. So now, your favorite body of water. And it could be either a category or a specific one. Doesn't matter. And then, again, the 3 adjectives to describe that body of water. Mm-hmm. What makes you really like that body of water?
This is fun, too, because I don't remember where it's going.
Do you remember your answers?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's fun.
I remember you giving me a hard time about them.
They're pretty funny.
You usually ask me more complex questions than these, so I was
a little
taken aback.
Yeah, like, this is kind of simple. How y'all doing?
Good. I've got 1 adjective left.
Perfect.
What about Keith?
How are
He's
you?
got one more to go to.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Anna, you good?
I'm almost ready.
Okay. This is a big deal, so I'm glad you're taking it seriously.
This is a big deal.
I stole this from some
Okay.
other podcast online,
I'm
I'm
ready.
sure. Okay.
I'm okay with this.
Perfect. So, let's hear Keith's answers first for your favorite animal. Tell us what your favorite animal was and what 3 words.
So my first, the animal is a monkey, more precisely a capuchin monkey, the same type of monkey that Naboo is in Aladdin, for people who don't know what capuchin monkeys are. I love them because they're playful, they are mischievous, and they are smart.
Perfect.
And I think it's just a fun, playful animal where you can't control them. They do what they want, but they're also out just to have a good time, and they're smart enough to control themselves and not just be controlled by others.
Okay, I love it. Anna, what about yours?
Mine is not surprising. Is my golden retriever, Izzy. And I like her because she is easygoing, fun, and silly.
Okay, and Courtney's answers way back when. Courtney's answer was a lemur because it is silly, lazy, and curious.
Ooh.
I love lemurs.
Now, the way this went was, this is how we see ourselves. So what 3 words did you describe yourself as, Keith?
Playful, mischievous, and smart.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It kind of fits.
All right. Thank
Anna,
you.
what about yours?
Glad I didn't say hairy.
Yeah.
Easygoing, fun, and silly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And Courtney's were silly, lazy, and curious. And I think it just suits perfectly.
I don't fully agree with yours, Courtney.
That's a lot of fun. Alright, let's go next. Favorite article of clothing?
I'll start with the old shorts.
Okay.
I love shorts because they're comfy. They have back pockets. all the shorts I have to have back pockets, and I'm able to run in them, and you can't run in just any other pair of clothes.
That's true. Shorts are helpful.
Okay.
So they're just very, really practical, I guess, is the last.
Utilitarian, even.
Yeah, utilitarian.
What about you, Anna?
I said pajamas because they are comfortable, relaxing, and beautiful.
Wow.
And that's
this
always
is
my
perfect.
favorite thing to spend money on when I'm buying clothes.
Courtney loves that too.
Yes.
Okay, Courtney's answer was a sweater because it's easy to take off, it's cozy, and it doesn't have to match anything. This is how we think others see us. What were yours?
So comfy, I need a back pocket, and convenient.
You're comfy and convenient.
All right, there it is.
Anna?
Apparently, I'm comfy, beautiful, and relaxed.
Yeah. And Courtney's easy to take off, doesn't really work, but cozy and doesn't have to match. You can kind of, fit her with whatever.
You can just
It's easy.
do whatever
Yeah.
with her.
Now, my favorite one's coming up. Favorite body of water. What you got?
I put ocean. I think the ocean is very mysterious. We know more about space than we do the ocean, which is, I think, it's crazy that we can't even get to the depths of the ocean. It's vast, which kind of goes along with mysterious, but it's just so big you really can't comprehend the size of the ocean compared to the size of us. It's just almost infinite. And the repetitive waves, I love that you can count on waves to constantly be breaking and come, whether they're small or short or big, but you always have the repeating waves. I find that very relaxing and very reassuring.
I like the ocean too. Anna?
That was also mine. The ocean, and I put vast, like Keith said, exploratory, which is not the best word, but
No, it's
there's
perfect.
just like so many things, and also calming,
Okay.
depending on the day.
That, I think this is going to be great. And Courtney's was also the ocean because all y'all are unoriginal. And hers was gigantic, diverse, and supportive. Now, of course, this is how we see sex.
Wait, what did I say? Nice. Exploratory. Vast, and calming.
Keith's was mysterious. The wonders.
And repeating.
No wonders.
And Courtney's was gigantic and diverse.
There it is.
And supportive.
Supportive too, of
Supportive
course.
to our marriage.
Anna's was comforting, so yeah, it's all good.
I like it.
So that's a fun little game.
Thank you
Good to know.
for enlightening us.
Yeah.
We're better people for that.
Yeah, probably not. That's okay. So next, we're just going to get into a more fun topic that Keith brought, and I'll let him lead it off. It was to do with men.
So, probably about a year ago, I heard the topic that is now used almost every day by everybody of mansplaining. And what mansplaining is...
Let me just interrupt you right there.
Yeah.
Mansplaining is a man commenting on or explaining something to a woman in a condescending, overconfident, and often inaccurate or oversimplified manner, per Wikipedia.
Here's where I fell into mansplaining. I was talking to 3 women in a field about... And they were talking about their periods.
For
And
those who don't know, he works on a farm, and that's why he was with 3 women in a field.
That's good to know.
and they were...
Little
They were
context there.
they were talking about periods and how hard it is and how much waste is produced because of periods. And I said that you should just have period cups. And they were like, Keith, stop mansplaining to us. I was like, what? And they're like, you know nothing about this subject. You've never experienced this subject. And now you come in here and tell us what we should do, whether you know it's practical or not, just because you have heard of something that is more environmentally friendly and you think that you should put that on somebody else when you don't fully know the repercussions of any of it. So that was my first introduction into mansplaining, and then somebody telling me that I can't understand it, I shouldn't have an opinion, or I shouldn't tell someone how to live their life just because I don't experience it. But I guess that's a little bit different than actual mansplaining. What do you think, Anna? Let me tell you right now, Anna doesn't think that. I'm joking.
We'll let the women speak.
All right.
Just this once.
I mean, I think that, I don't know if you were mansplaining. I think that you can't quite, I think it is accurate to say that you can't fully engage with a conversation in the sense that you don't have a period, so you don't really know. But to me, mansplaining is, in my experience, it's interrupting or basically repeating something that I just said. And that's not really the same situation to me.
Man, it was hard not to interrupt you right there.
But I could be wrong. I don't know the exact definition of it. But
Well, Wikipedia already told you, and I told you, so man explained it. Thank you. Courtney, what about you? You got any experience with mansplaining?
Do you
or
feel like you're ever mansplained at work or at home
by your husband?
by your husband?
Whoever that is.
Fortunately, I work with a bunch of women, so I don't have to worry about it there.
Don't worry.
But at home, forms, he usually lets me finish before he mansplains. But he does sometimes try to simplify things that he thinks that I have overcomplicated and re-explain them to me in a mansplaining way.
I could see that.
tisk.
He is usually right, and I understand the concept more,
Mm-hmm.
so it's okay. I'm not usually offended by mansplaining, by my husband at least.
That's good.
I personally mansplain more when I'm frustrated, when Anna can't comprehend something, or like my mom or my sister can't comprehend it, and then I start talking over them and cutting them off short. And because I think that it's such a simple thought, why can't you understand this?
You
So
get almost
that's-
impatient with them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I get impatient and then I start cutting people off, which I think is the root of it when man thinks that women are more simple-minded, so we need to really explain it to them in a way that they can understand, and they're not understanding, so we keep cutting them off. But yeah, and I think that my original topic I brought up with telling a woman that they need to use a period cup, and I don't understand anything about periods, is valid to a point, but I mean, I think that's what all of politics is too. Men trying to tell women how to live their life from Capitol Hill when they aren't women. I think that's interesting.
There's at least 3 women in Congress. So
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty
I'd say it's
equal.
I did hear
Representation.
one of the Congress, one lady in the Senate, I forget who it was, but she was on NPR and she was sharing about how she would get like the delivery boys or the people that run the letters to and fro. She would like be pumping, and she would have like a jug of milk that she had pumped while she was in Congress. She would do it like underneath her shirt, and she would like wrap it up and give it to like one of the runners because she had a baby in the nurse or in her office being taken care of by one of her people. And it like there was nothing about like the Congress had never had an issue like this before because she was the first woman to have a baby or be pregnant or anything like that. So she had to literally pump in the office in like Congress so her baby could have food. I thought that was an interesting thing that literally our government wasn't even set up.
Yeah, it's never happened. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so
I don't know if you saw that lady in New Zealand, y'all, or Australia. The first woman to have a baby in years, who was the head of a country, if not ever. I think she just had a baby recently and had to go out on maternity leave, and she's like the prime minister or whatever.
yeah, that's
Big deal.
crazy.
That's cool.
And governments just don't do that. Not that this is really related to mansplaining, but just interesting thought. Do you find in our office, Anna, that people who are not men, because besides me, it's all women, that people mansplain or women-splain in the meetings where you're starting to share and then someone cuts you off?
I have not personally experienced that. I have another job, but I've not noticed that.
I think it
Have
gets
you?
into if it's like intelligent, like is mansplaining just like a intelligence splaining, or is it gender splaining? Does that make sense?
I think it's a gender thing because in a job before, 3 other female colleagues we would explain things, and I'd say something, and then a male colleague would say truly exactly what I just said, and then our boss would go, "Oh, okay."
That's a good idea.
Yeah, or like he finally understood it, and it happened so much that it felt like, is he so used to only understanding or listening well to men that he's not allowing himself to really listen to what we're saying. He's just nodding, acting like he is, and waiting for another male counterpart to save him and chime in with an explanation. And I think that's part of it.
It's also, I think, a generational thing too, because I think if you're not, I think older men have problems with this sometimes, depending. I mean, they're not all the same, but I think you're less likely to get mansplaining from a younger guy, because I think they're probably more sensitive to it because of our culture now.
In the older generation, women in the workplace, that was a not common thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
These silly women, they should be at home breastfeeding.
Exactly. Cooking dinner.
And so they don't really want to hear your opinions.
Yeah.
I know.
Thankfully, I don't feel like, unless I have not been paying attention, that I've been mansplained to very much in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Very few examples while I've been working, but thankfully that hasn't been a huge issue for me.
Same for you? No big issue there?
Yeah, not really. I find sometimes when at the hospital, if I'm explaining something to a dad instead of a mom, that he kind of turns it around and tries to mansplain a little bit about what we're going to do, I guess. And I don't get that as much from women, so really that's the only example I have. Yeah.
Do we think it's based on men being more impatient, or do we think it's more on condescending, like men who truly believe they're smarter and superior?
I think it's subconsciously men thinking that they need to explain it. I think it's definitely a subconscious thing of where a man needs to say it to really understand it so that it can be trusted as a good idea. So not everything is, or usually it's not a condescending thing from the get-go. It's more of a inherently built into your subconscious thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of mansplainers, the next topic, we're going to talk about the big man, the president upstairs. Not in God, but Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Did he want to be elected during the election? Because there was some fun talk back then about, did he even really want to win? Did he want to be president, or was this purely a celebrity move to get his name back out there, just to prove a point that Hillary Clinton, the most respected woman politic, everybody hates her in the Republican Party, but she's, famous woman politician, can't even beat a doofus with a wig,
Yep.
It's a toupee.
Yeah, sorry.
When I first started thinking about this legitimately was when I found out about the business moves of Donald Jr. and his daughter Ivanka. His daughter's Ivanka, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, when this campaign started, they started Donald Jr. And then the Kushner family. They started making big business moves and talking to their companies about rebranding themselves. So the way that Ivanka was rebranding herself was she was turning away from this really rich and wealthy business fashion line, because all the rich, wealthy fashion liners tend to be more liberal in their thought process, and she started trying to market more to a lower socioeconomic class and more affordable clothes for the mass quantities of people living in rural areas.
Which is who Donald Trump targeted, of course.
Exactly. And he targeted them in every one of his campaign rallies and slogans, and the way he spoke and the way he talked to the people of America, which is exactly what the DJ Jr., Donald Jr., did as well with his hotel line, which is actually already popping up. They are taking the subway, which means you have talked about this before, the Subway and Dollar General approach, and trying to get their hotels, motels, nicer motels, you want to call it that, into these rural areas where people actually voted and love Donald Trump.
Where Trump's not a hated name in New York and LA, it's a positive name in Kansas,
rural
right?
Kansas.
Yeah.
So I think that he was planning on, him and his entire family were going to ride this Trump surf wave into business paradise.
Yeah.
But then when he actually got elected because he meddled with Russia, hypothetically,
verdict's still out.
Russia actually thought, wow, we can get this guy elected and we will be so much better off. And then they meddled and he actually got elected and he was like, oh crap, I have done it somehow. How did I do this?
What do I do now?
Yeah, I think he was thrown into a spot where he was ill-prepared, and now he just has a bunch of people running the office for him in a lot of different ways. and he just tweets out whatever he thinks.
I'm gonna ask a quick question before I get y'all to. So Ivanka recently, I believe, within the past month, sold her clothing line. She canceled it, totally shut it down. Do you think that's because he won and she had to adjust her plans, or do you think that she truly wants to help the country? You know, like, because there are conflict of ethics rules, right, in politics and government. So Donald Trump and his family all had to put their assets in trust to be held by other people while they ran the government to try to avoid favors from other countries and whatnot, helping their businesses.
Yes.
So
I think that she was in no way thinking that he would win the election, and now it's gotten so far where she wasn't expecting him to be in office, and now that he is, she had to sell it because she was expecting at this point for it to take off as a household name type brand. And now the opposite of what she thought would happen.
it's possible public opinion was so poisoned against the Trump name anyway that she actually backfired a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially
Anyway,
now.
do you all perceive this man as a man who wants to be the president of the United States?
I do.
Yeah.
I don't think you spend that much money, that much effort, that much political capital and social capital to not want to run for president or to not want that office. I think there are so many other things that he would be doing or he could be doing, but for some reason, and I don't think it's from altruism or anything, I think he wanted to prove a point. I don't know exactly what the point is because he's so nuts. I can't really follow anything that he's saying half the time. So I'm not sure what the point is, but I don't think someone just stumbles into it, and I don't think you win the presidency of the United States on an accident. I think he wanted to.
He said in an interview in like the 80s that if he ever gets bored, he'll just run for president of the United States.
Under the Republican Party because he knew they would vote for him.
Yeah, and he called Republicans not unintelligent.
Yeah, idiots, I thought. But
super manipulative, or that they're
easy to manipulate. Yeah.
And I think that he got bored with his life and figured that he would just run and make a name that lived on forever. Because I think that he thinks that his name is the most important thing, and the name that'll help those kids. And I think that he wants to live in infamy. You know, they say that a man dies twice when his body goes to rest, and the last time that you utter that man's name.
Macklemore said that once.
Macklemore said that in a song.
It was glorious.
And I think that he really bought into that thought, and he wants his name to last forever, like Julius Caesar or any of the greats of Egyptian empires or whatnot that have lived for 4,000 years.
I think you're right about the name. When he was releasing financial information about himself, which he never really did all the way, but their valuation of him, he puts in his wealth, I forget the numbers now because it was way back during the election, but it was like $650 billion. But when Forbes magazine / website did the research, they said it was about $150. He was valuing the Trump brand name at like $500 billion. I mean, it was he has such a high view of that name that could be it.
Yeah.
I think his narcissism is throughout everything that he does. I mean, I think that would definitely kind of underscore why he did it. It was about his name and his legend or whatever it is. And I think when you're that narcissistic, I mean, everything he does is about himself. How even when he's thanking people, and I'm thanking people with air quotes,
Right.
you can't see, it's basically turning things back to him. So I think that kind of runs through everything he does.
When the Supreme Court, what was his name?
The new guy? Kavanaugh?
No, the guy who stepped down.
Roberts? Did Roberts step down? I forget.
Yeah, I think so. He was the swing vote.
Yeah.
He thanked him for his time in office, and that he said, "Thank you to the Supreme Court judge who decided to leave during my time because he knew that I would make the right decision." And he swung it around on himself. And It's just, how much more narcissistic can you be to think this guy who's really served the country for what, 40 years or however long?
Yeah, a long time he's been there.
He said, this guy was thinking about me when he stepped down. His career will end and be in my hands now. You're welcome. And he basically said, I'm the best, when he was talking about this Supreme Court justice who stepped down. And I just thought, when I heard him say that, I was like, you really think about yourself really highly.
It was Anthony Kennedy for the
Kennedy.
record. Justice Kennedy.
How do you think of that?
What about you, Courtney? What do you think? Did he want to be president?
We've kind of gotten off of this, but I agree that he was super bored, and that when people that are as wealthy as he is become bored, they really will do anything to spice up their life, because their whole life they can
Do whatever.
Yeah, like they buy whatever they want whenever they want. They don't have to save for anything.
Go wherever they want.
Yeah, I mean, even like getting an education in any way is easy and doable at any college. And you just, I think, later in life become that bored, and I think that that's really what he did. That there might have been some other, motives and whatever, but I think that he ultimately was just extremely bored and had a lot of money, and why not use it on this?
I think he definitely loves power too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he still gets to golf on the weekend, so
I mean,
who cares? It's a win-win.
Living the life.
Yeah, he is.
And I also think, like, people always say, no one was this critical of Obama or any other president. You hear that from Republicans a lot. And I just love what John Mulaney says in one of his skits, where he's like, I wasn't paying attention. Because if you leave your baby with your grandmother or your mother, you think, I think the baby's in pretty good hands.
gonna be fine.
This person seems kind of capable, right? Like,
I mean,
I'm not going to
agree with
call
everything.
and freak out every second that they're going to burn the house down, because they seem pretty good at their job.
John Mulaney's awesome.
And that's kind of how I feel about Trump. So I'm like, well, you're comparing apples to oranges, because sure, those people may have been, maybe they were just as crazy nuts or corrupt or whatever you want to call it. But they hit it well, and that comforted us all a little bit.
Yeah,
They
that's
weren't
true.
like on air, tweeting every horrifying thing that you can think of. And that's, I think, what people are so
Let's just
concerned
say
about.
Barack Obama wouldn't have left a meeting with Putin saying he's actually a really good guy when 12 Russians were just indicted.
Accidents happen.
I don't see any way that he would have caused tampering in our election. But our government
And if he did, well,
just said yes.
he just supported the best candidate.
He just wanted me to win. He knew winners.
He knew who should win,
Actually,
frankly.
it's just locker room banter, right?
Yeah. It's very true. I just got done reading People's History of the United States. I finally finished it.
Yay,
Thank goodness. I've
wow.
been reading that book for 4 or 5 months, I feel like. And it keeps talking about these presidents who, whether Republican or Democrat, they're super flatline. Then nothing changes. It goes a little bit, welfare goes up a little bit, military spending always goes up. Everything's always flat. Nothing changes. Trump is different in a sense in his rhetoric, but not necessarily in his policies. And I think that's actually interesting right now. His approval rating has gone up as he's gone, because he actually hasn't been as crazy as we thought he might be. Like, he is in his words and ways, whoever he might be working with Russia, but like his actual policy decisions and his Supreme Court nominees, I'm sure Democrats aren't thrilled with him, but it's not ending America yet. We're just not used to seeing a guy tweet ridiculous things all the time as our president.
Right.
And Bush had huge tariffs that backfired on him in 2000. I mean, he basically gambled the same way that Trump has been gambling.
Yeah.
But it's more of a surreal TV station now.
It's a reality show,
Reality show, and now we tune in. We're waiting for the next episode. But if Bush had the same rhetoric or personality, we would have been like, this guy's going to kill us.
Trump's a lightning rod for sure. He just draws everyone's attention and hatred or love. I mean, it's crazy.
Yep.
Did y'all see that picture from the Trump rally a couple weeks ago where it was 2 guys who were saying, I'd rather be a Russian than a Democrat?
Yes.
Or that to a Trump rally. Like, come on.
Yeah,
It's a little too obvious, but it's fine. Maybe we shouldn't hate Russia. Any final thoughts on Trump and his presidency?
Not about Trump.
He's a fun topic. So now we're going to tone it back down a little bit and get to a fun little light filler. Favorite season. What's y'all's favorite season out of the year? We got the 4. We got spring, and we got summer, and we got autumn or fall, and then we got winter. Those are the 4.
Thank you.
Everybody-
Thank you.
If y'all didn't know, that's mansplaining.
Is everybody going to say it we're going to count down?
On 3. 1,
Okay.
2, 3. Winter.
Fall.
All right, perfect. Let's go one by one. Keith, start us off.
Fall, I love Thanksgiving. Just
Ooh.
I just love that it's in quick succession of October, leaves falling. It gets cool after a really hot summer in Georgia, and then you have two really fun holidays, and that aren't really overkill to me with Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about Thanksgiving?
I love cooking during Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thanks for not saying family.
You're welcome. I really
To be
think
honest.
But that's your favorite.
it's fun to put it together, put a lot of food together for a lot of people, and everybody's just really excited about a lot of really good food. I think that the dinner table is an important place, and yes, that's where family and friends and discussion comes along and giving thanks. But I just love that we get to prepare this food that we only really prepare once a year.
So much food waste, though. It's really sad.
So
There is a
delicious.
lot of food waste.
It,
You were
it
right.
kills me every Thanksgiving.
Unless you do really good with seconds, or not
Yeah.
seconds,
Yeah.
but
Leftovers,
leftovers,
which people never do.
which
Because
I
I
mean,
hate
we eat
leftovers.
leftovers.
We ate all our leftovers.
Same.
Well, of course y'all do. You guys. Picky eaters over here.
Our poor boy.
Yeah.
A picky eater, I forgot.
I'll be eating that dressing for a month.
Never goes bad.
Mm-mm. Unless you put eggs in it, and then
And then it goes bad
just
real
don't put
quick.
eggs in it.
Things get out of hand quick.
It's
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Anna?
sketchy. Fall for sure.
Yeah?
I do love summer, but by like middle July, I'm kind of over it. I like not having to wear a lot of clothes and like just not have to worry about being cold. But I love the fall because when you come out in the morning, it's just kind of frisky, and you walk your dog, and she's just kind of, spicy, and she's excited, and she's excited because it feels better outside. And we're like, my old boss Casey Leslie used to say that she was a better Christian in the fall, which I totally
You just
agree
become a more
with.
positive
You're
person?
just a better person. I'm not
Love
hot.
that.
I'm not worried about BO from sweating all the
No,
time.
You're so
Like,
right about summer.
I love snacks that we eat with watching Auburn football, and I love just carving pumpkins for Halloween,
fun.
and
It's harvest time.
I just like all of the fall holidays and all of the
It wraps.
things about
It just wraps up the year. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about you, Courtney?
I'm gonna go with summer. It relates to my obsession with water, and so it gets warm enough here to start swimming soon. But I just love to swim and be in water. I've actually given myself swimmer's ear.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Doing handstands and flips by myself at the pool the other day, and I just can't help myself. And I just love.
It's my cute wife.
Even though spring sure brings about all the flowers and colors that they bring, I just love how bright and cheery summer is, and vacations.
Yeah.
But it's so miserable when
Only
you step
with my
outside,
husband.
you know?
I know, but it's kind of nice in the morning, and
Yeah.
The heat
I
literally
love the
comes
water.
up and
That's what I
slaps
love
you in
about
the
summer
face.
too.
so many activities that you can do in the summer that you might not be able to do the rest of the year, and it's just so fun.
Today is August the 12th, and Anna and I walked to church this morning, and it was a absolute sauna outside. It was.
Worst decision you ever made.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst decision I ever made, but it was. I
Top
was
three.
sweating by the time I got into church, and then the walk back, there were marital issues, and we were arguing
Thanks for getting hot.
due to the heat. The heat was
I
like
literally said, "You better have the key out in your hand by the time we get to that door, or else."
Threats were
Like,
being
don't get
made.
up there and be fumbling like you didn't know we were coming to the front door. We were coming to the front door, have the key out because I'm not going to wait any longer. See,
I had
I'm
it
a real
ready.
nice.
He had it ready.
I had it ready.
He had it ready. I didn't want to karate chop him, so I'm
Right.
glad he had it ready.
Forbes.
My favorite's winter, and it's purely because of where we live. I think winter is miserable in high north Michigan or something like that. But because of where we live, winter is really fall for most of the country.
Yeah,
so
true.
we had 2-3 Christmases in a row now that have been rainy and 70 degrees.
Yes.
And so, not that I love rain, well, I do, but not on Christmas. But I love the temperature around our winter. It's just,
It's
it
never
doesn't
been
get that
cold.
cold.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had snow twice in the past 6 years. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And so
We
the
did
coldest
have
it gets.
snow.
Yeah.
I forgot.
That's
that was
right.
so fun.
And then we had
And everybody's ill equipped for it.
yeah, we had everybody in the south
We
just
have
panics a lot.
socks as mittens. We don't know what to do with ourselves.
A whole lot of panic. We can't drive. It's a whole thing. But anyway, I love winter because you get to kind of chill inside, and I like sitting inside, and the weather is not miserable.
I
You
agree.
get to go outside. So that's favorite season, and we're gonna potentially close. We'll see how long it lasts. We might add another topic, but The last one is something me and my wife Courtney over there have talked about a good bit. It's the definition, but more your personal interpretation of success and what an accomplishment is for y'all. And I ask because I see an accomplishment or a goal. So you hit a goal, right? You achieve your goal. That's an accomplishment to me. And that's a part of what makes up success. Success is the long-term thing. An accomplishment is a short-term goal accomplished, in my mind. I don't know if I perceive success the same way y'all do. I'd love to hear it. What do y'all have to say?
Keith, you go ahead. I'm thinking.
I view success very differently. I definitely think it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, for sure.
Seeing as in the difference between some of my family members' success, one would see success as being the best doctor in the world. The other would be the best counselor in the world. The other would be the best mother. That's their version of success. It just really, where do you plant your goals? And every day, are you successful in striving for each goal? I wouldn't see success in finishing a class or getting the best profession in the world. I think I would view a successful life and a successful day in and day out as living out, I guess, the golden rules of loving your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and loving your neighbor as yourself in that order, first and then second. And I get really frustrated by success, the topic of success, because people think that you have to be successful in your career and your job, which I almost want to rebel against.
Right.
And I guess that's why I started working at a farm, because I was really frustrated with this capitalistic view of work your way up, do better in your job, and then you're successful. When I think that as long as you have friends and family and loved ones around you, and you're trying to do good for other people and not good for yourself, I think that you're very successful. So I think the word success and successful is a little ambiguous.
Oh, for sure.
It's just the eye of the beholder and what you think success is. And I think that we have in America, we have a bad perception of what success is.
For sure.
Yeah. I agree. I think that it's subjective. I don't know who said this. I think Elizabeth Gilbert said this quote that she asked, what if joy was her only metric for success? And I think that that's something that I try to think about when I'm wondering, am I successful? What's the route to success? Like, whatever that means for each person. But I think it kind of taps into what Keith is saying. If whatever you're doing, if you are joyful about it, does it bring you joy? Whether you're a parent full-time or you work at a community foundation or you're an orthopedic surgeon, whatever it is, if that brings you joy, then I would consider that a success, personally.
So what is an accomplishment in a joy-filled success life?
I think an accomplishment is just something that you're proud of yourself for doing. Something that maybe you said, this is new territory for me, or this is a new goal. Maybe I want to try to do crow pose in yoga, or I want to try to learn sewing. I consider it an accomplishment that I know how to sew on a button, because that was a goal for me. And now I'm finding joy in it, and I'm learning more and more with Miss Kathy's help about how to sew. But I think it's just something that it's a specific goal that you set for yourself, and did you achieve it? Yes, then I'd say it was an accomplishment. I don't know if that's
No, I think that's fine.
Contradicts what I said, but
I have a weird, I don't know how true this is, or if I'm just talking out of weird places.
We got opinions on everything.
I think that an accomplishment or a success makes you is whenever you're fully present, I guess. I don't mean to be like all yoga-y or anything, but
Please be.
I think that whenever you're truly happy or successful, it means that you're joyful or happy, and that means that you're accepting and being in the present of I've done this, but you're right where you are, and you're not longing for the future or miserable about the past. You're just happy with the present moment and what you've brought to this moment. I think that success or happiness or accomplishment, when you're in the moment of you have accomplished and you're happy with that accomplishment, it means that you have brought yourself to this moment and you are happy with this moment of what you've done. I don't know. It just has to do with, of course, you hear the buzzword, be present, be here, don't linger in the future. You hear Jesus or God or Gandhi or the Buddha talk about don't linger with your thoughts in the past, or don't idle over the future, but be present with every waking moment, or whatever they say. I think that has a lot to do with our success in our accomplishments.
Yeah, because even like Keith and I were reading this book, The Power of Now, which I haven't finished. It's kind of
Eckhart
heavy
Tolle.
read, but where he talks about clock time, which is, the time that we operate in. I need to be to work at 9 o'clock. And then I think the term that he uses for where we go in our mind is psychological time, maybe, where you're going back or you're going forward in your own thoughts, and those places don't exist. They don't serve any purpose, you
right?
know? But I think it is interesting to consider how the present moment, how using that to define accomplishments. I never thought about it like that.
I like that too. What about you, Courtney?
I agree with all these thoughts and had the same ones when we talked about it. But I think I've been thinking lately, one of the most fun things about success and accomplishments is looking back on events or things that have happened and realizing that those were small accomplishments or successes in this big picture that you didn't even realize then that to get to this crow pose, I had to go to a yoga class the first time, and that counts as an accomplishment, or, these little things that all add up to make a big success. So
Right.
I think that's kind of fun if you didn't realize that it was even a part of your journey as much of in a big way as you thought it would be. So,
So what does an end goal success look like for you?
like personally,
Yeah, sort of like what is your life success? What would make for a successful life in your mind?
Probably being a great wife to you. Not necessarily, I think we throw around this word, the best mom or anything. I'm not after that at all. The best.
Should be.
I'm looking to be the best I can be in our marriage, and then I do want to be a nurse or a yoga teacher. I haven't decided. They're very different, but not even necessarily the best, just to be great at those things, I guess. And
Be your best.
Pour yourself into them.
yeah. So I think that's also an important thing to remember, that you don't have to be the best at anything. If that's your goal, that's fine. But
Anna and I joke around with the phrase, don't be a second-rate somebody else, but be a first-rate yourself.
I like it.
Don't be a second-rate Gandhi and quote him all day. Quote yourself and live your own life. Don't be a second-rate yoga teacher that you love, that you want to be like. Be a first-rate yourself. So
we should probably get on it, Anna.
So I think that success is being a first-rate yourself, just like you said.
I like
just
that.
Be a first-rate yourself. Be someone that you can be proud of, and the choices you make every day, and the morals that you hold in your life. Of course, don't be proud of your morals, but just live them.
Yeah.
Don't be self-righteous, but be a ragamuffin.
Ragamuffin. The reason I am so interested about this topic is I've struggled with the idea of success for myself lately, and probably throughout my life. But not to be negative, I try to be positive, but not to be negative. I don't see a success in my future right now. I don't see a end goal. I don't have a goal really at all. There's just kind of a vast future that I try not to just worry about constantly because I don't know what it should be. But it is there. I have that in the back of my mind. Like, I don't have anything I'm driving towards right now. My job's fine. My wife is excellent. My life is generally good. Like, it's not. I'm not in a place where I feel I'm accomplishing anything, which is sad. Hopefully, this podcast is something I'm accomplishing, but I don't feel as though I'm pushing towards anything. And so, what is success for me? I'm not sure. And
maybe you
that's
don't
why
need to be pushing towards anything.
I meant to tell you, because you and I have this conversation
all the time at work.
All the time about
But
all
not
the
about our
things.
jobs.
From just
Betsy.
you know,
That's the record. Off the record.
is what we're doing in all of our jobs doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
know, like what's our goal here? But I heard Glennon Doyle, who's Abby Wambach's wife, who I love. She wrote Love Warrior and a few other things, and she talks a lot about how she doesn't believe in goals. She believes in doing the next right thing. We just do the next right hard thing. And when I think about that over my life, that's been exactly what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I graduated, when I went even into the servant leadership program back to before I started school, I didn't go. My goal is to go to the servant leadership program at CSU and graduate in 3.5 years and da-da-da. I didn't plan any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of these things fell into my lap right when they were supposed to, and I did them all through, and I worked hard in all of them. But then I waited and I prayed, and then my job came at Columbus Regional. I was there for a year, and I waited and I prayed, and I thought, is this right? And then the Community Foundation, job came open, and that was the next right thing for me. In that moment, that felt like where I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I heard her say that, and I thought back, when I feel like I'm a goal-oriented person, I'm really not, apparently, if history says anything. But I've kind of naturally followed that, and I wonder if
You're opportunistic.
I wonder if I think maybe do we make too much of it?
Probably so.
Do we make too much of this trajectory and these goals and success and it's a lot about what we've been saying about, yes, it's good to be forward thinking in some ways, and it's good to plan, or you put money in your retirement and those kinds of things where you spend a little bit of time thinking about the future, right?
Right.
But not, I'm always in the future. What am I going to do next? What does my future look like? Like, that's just, I'm starting to think, as we've been talking, all of us, and as been hearing her say that, I'm like, well, maybe it's not as hard as I think it is. I don't know if that makes you feel any better.
Really?
It does and it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel as though society actually has a list of right things that we are supposed to do, right? We went to high school, the next right thing for someone in a privileged situation, go to college. The next right thing, graduate, either go get a master's or go into a workplace, get a job. Next, get married. Next, have kids. Next, retire. Next, be done, right? And that's your life.
And now that means that if you follow that and you don't feel like that's true yourself, I feel that's being a second rate somebody else.
But I think the key is the next right thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
The next right thing for Keith, to maybe society, whoever, was go to PA school or go be a doctor of your family. Look at the history there. But the next hard right thing for Keith was waiting and then seeing that this opportunity for public health came, and that's what's right for him.
Right.
So I think if he had let society kind of morph where he thought he should be or where he would be better financially in 10 years, he could have gone that route. I think it would have been fine.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been.
Living my truth.
Speak it, yoga teacher.
I don't think he
Live
would
that
have been
truth.
as joy filled, but I think it would have been fun, But maybe it's what it is for you.
Yeah.
But
So-
that's the hard part.
That is the hard part.
Portlandia. What's the guy's name?
Which one?
The
Fred?
main
The main
character,
character,
Fred.
Yeah.
Fred Armisen. He's like, I'm just living my truth.
Yeah.
And the cops want to arrest him because he's making bombs. And stuff.
He's like
You're like
murdering
murdered
people.
somebody.
Yeah.
I'm just living my
And the
truth.
cops are like, yeah, that's fine. You're right.
I'm living my
You
truth.
live your truth, I'll live mine. Yeah. He just leaves.
That's what this makes
Love
me
it.
feel love.
So what's the solution to success then? Don't listen to society.
Yeah.
Follow your heart and
Yeah.
do what makes you happiest.
Mm-hmm.
Is happiness the goal? Is this philosophy?
I think
Philosophy
that,
class, that's a school of thought that we should only pursue happiness, and that is a selfish thought to some degree, because if you're pursuing happiness for your own self,
then that's
then
selfish.
you're selfishly putting everyone else out.
I truly think the only revolutionary idea with success, and the only thing that will actually bring success, and the only idea that's ever been revolutionary to our souls and our mind is what I said earlier, the first and second rule of love your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And then love your neighbor as yourself. And if you do those two things and you do them in that order, then you will be successful in your life. I I feel like that is the only way to ever become successful and be truly happy with your life. You can be happy with your career, but I don't think that if you don't do those two things that you won't be happy with your life. So I guess in essence, success career-wise is different than success life-wise.
Yeah.
So.
And who cares about careers?
Yeah.
You know? Besides me.
Yeah.
Don't you get any crazy ideas over there?
I love my job.
I did want to bring up one more topic that when I heard y'all say about Donald Trump, the polarizing nature, either you love him or you hate him.
Yeah.
That made me think about that book, The Power of Now, which is a world famous book now by Eckhart Tolle. He brings
world famous.
he brings out the thought that worldly love and worldly hate aren't polar opposites, but in fact the same thing. You hear people say all the time, "I love you, I'll do anything for you," but then the second that love isn't reciprocated in the way that somebody doesn't care for their spouse or care for a loved one or cheats or befuddles their name, whatever it is, they end up saying, "I hate you, I hate your stinking guts, I never want to talk to you again."
Yeah.
And how quickly love turns into hate, because did you ever truly love this person in a selfless manner, or did you love them as much as they could love you back? And if you didn't see the love come back at you, then it turned into hate. So he claims that love is hate and hate is love in a worldly essence. That the only true love, if it's kind of like the word right and right, like you do the right thing or you write down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You have love, worldly love, and then you have love, godly love. And worldly love is selfish in the fact that you love or you hate. You just are on one side of that word love. And then godly love is love and is selfless love. And I wanted to know what y'all thought about if you think that love and hate is the same thing, or if it's completely different. It's just our human flaws that causes us to love and hate at the same time or at different times.
It's an incredibly depressing thought to say that.
Yeah.
That love and hate are the same. I've heard that argument before, right?
Yeah.
But love in your worldly sense is conditional, right? It's purely, did something happen? If so, I love it. If not, I hate it. And so maybe I could see where you're going to argue that they're the same, but I think there's a slight separation. Hate is incredibly strong, as is love, if you truly took a godly sense of it, right? There almost probably shouldn't even be hate. Does God hate the devil? I don't know. Does he hate it? It's a whole separate thing. But
he hates lukewarm Christians.
Yeah, that's true. He spits them out.
Yeah,
but it's kind of gross.
But you really look at what look at the example of Donald Trump. He has made people either love him or hate him. There's almost no middle ground with him. And Jesus says in Matthew, "You're either with me or against me." And I think that there's this polarizing dynamic of life where you're with me or against me, you love me or you hate me, you're wrong or you're right. And it's all, but when you think about love and hate, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, wrong or right, some people may see it as wrong, some people may see it as right, but you made the same choice, just as you love or you hate, but it's still the same thing. I don't know.
What do you ladies think?
Maybe too much philosophy in here.
I'm not smart enough to wrap my head around that.
Me either.
I vaguely remember him speaking to that in the book. Same side of what's the phrase? Different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Is that what he says?
He says the different side. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Is some people may say this is the wrong decision. Some people may say it's the right decision, but it's the same coin. Just people seeing the same decision, the same coin, just seeing one side or the other. Heads or tails, same coin though.
The world's pretty binary.
Same.
We like to make things binary. Or two political parties.
So sorry if I get too far.
No, I like it a lot. I don't understand it fully. I don't have a lot to say to add to it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I should have prepared y'all more for that.
I got to do my homework on that one before we speak on.
I mean, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Exactly.
No more. I was about to say, are we really getting into this?
I would love to have a love podcast, though.
for Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's do that. I
perfect.
hate Valentine's Day.
I love it.
There it is.
I
Same
hate it.
side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Full 180 there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll call it there. We're about an hour, but thank you all for listening. If anyone listens, this is Opinions on Everything. We'll talk to you very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.